Hello, this is Jamie Magrich. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card. Let's get started. It does use quite a bit of supplies because I used little bits and stuff that I had on my desk. So the main thing is this new Scottie. Can't really see it. Turn it over. The Scottie Dog Punch. I'm going to use Memento Black and Real Red ink. Use this stamp from the Christmas Scottie. I'm going to use this stamp from Snowman Magic. Sentiment Hello from Cottage Wreaths. Timeworn Type 3D embossing folder. The snowman dies and the stitch rectangle dies. And for the snowman dies, I used this tree one. I cut out 2 trees. And the stitch rectangles, it's the second to the largest and the smallest of the main shapes. I'm also going to be using the Real Red rhinestones and some dimensionals. Okay, so for cardstock, I have my card base, which is 5.5 by 8.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. I have a scrap of white, a scrap of black. This is the second, the smallest stitched rectangle. And then I have the second to the largest stitched rectangle. Those are both out of white. I have a piece of Real Red, which is 2 inches by 5 inches, and I've run it through that embossing folder. I have a piece of old olive, which is 2.5 by 5 1/4. And that is all my pieces. So first thing I'm going to do, go ahead and bring in our punch. Let's punch out that Scottie dog. Okay, so we've got that piece. Let's put him aside. Let's bring in that bow. And, oh, I need old olive. I knew I was forgetting something and I couldn't remember what it was. Old olive ink. And we're going to stamp that bow on this scrap paper here. And then we'll go ahead and punch that out. Okay. And then on this piece, I'm going to take those pine trees. Well, first let's stamp the sentiment so that I know where to stamp the pine trees. Take that little hello. Down here at the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and stamp that little hello. I'm going to stamp it once up here and once a little bit more over this way. That's all I need the memento for. And I'm going to bring in those pine trees. I'm going to stamp those. I'm going to stamp it again over here. And you can go all the way across, but it doesn't show anyway, so that's all you really need. So we're done with the old olive ink. Let's put this aside. And let's bring in this piece. I need a scratch paper. And this stamp and the Real Red ink. Let's ink this up really well. Let's stamp right over the top of this. And I'll bring my take your pick tool in so I don't have to get ink all over my fingers. Perfect. Done with the red ink. All right. Get this off the table. And I think we have all our pieces now. So let's bring this in. First thing I'm going to do is adhere this old olive piece over here on this side over here. And it's going to have an equal border from the top, bottom, and left side. Like an 1/8 of an inch, 1/16 of an inch. Okay, now we're going to bring in this one that we stamped. That's going to go right here. It's not really centered on the card, but it's centered here and here the same. Maybe over just a little bit more that way, so that the distance between the top of this and the green, and this and the side, and the top, bottom of this and the green are the same. Okay, now we're going to bring in this piece. This is going to go here. And this one's kind of centered in the green. Okay, but I want to make sure I don't have an odd amount of that one tree sticking out. It looked funny to me. So, all right, now we're going to bring this piece and some dimensionals. Oh, and I forgot to show you the piece of old olive scrap that I cut those trees out of. Just dawned on me. Okay, let's put this over here. Try to make it straight if you can. And bring in those two trees that I cut out from a scrap of old olive. Put a little bit of glue on the back. One's going to go over here. One I'm going to bring in some snips. And I'm going to cut the bottom off. So it'll be shorter. And that one's going to go over next to it. Like that. And unstick. Thank you. And bring in our Scottie dog. I know one more thing we didn't stamp. Or did we? Did we stamp? We did. Okay, I was going to say, where's the bow? Alright, so now the Scottie dog is going to sit on top of this a little bit. However, this side's already got dimensionals, so we just put dimensionals here. We'll put one on his nose, on his face, on this foot, one over here. Add a little bit of wet glue here. Take those backs off. And this is going to go here. Like that. Want to make sure you see your sentiment. Okay, then we're going to bring in a glue dot. Glue dot on the back. Put this little bow on. Okay, then we're going to finish it off with those red rhinestones. I'm going to start by putting one on his bow. Scatter a couple more up here, just to kind of draw your eye around. And there you go, there's our card. It's really not a difficult one. It just has a lot of pieces from a lot of different things. Well, thank you so much for joining me today at Jamie's Craft Table. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you can find a little bit of time to play with some stamps, ink, and paper.